This is Story Robot. Welcome to r/IDontWorkHereLady. Our first story of today is, They Still Haven't Figured It Out. I worked in bars and restaurants for years. During that time I developed too many pet peeves to count and left the industry with a huge chip on my shoulder and enough trauma that I still have server nightmares years later. I miss liking humans. This is the story of how I served a table very badly because they were stupid and beepy. And because I didn't work there. Despite no longer working as a server, I guess I still look like one. I went through a phase where I only owned one pair of black Converse, 2 pairs of black jeans and 7 black t-shirts. I called it my Batman wardrobe. It made getting dressed in the morning very easy, but it made walking through a restaurant very difficult. With this outfit in mind, I will absolutely concede that in some restaurant settings, I might have been bringing this on myself. But as common as this outfit is among service staff, it certainly isn't what most servers in most restaurants wear. It's also a very normal outfit to see on the street. Most of the time, if I'm just trying to walk to the bathroom and someone at a table tries to order from me, I'll just quickly let them know I don't work there. But one time, I'm tempted to try and justify this by outlining for you the laundry list of beepy behaviors I had already witnessed from this table. In the interest of saving time, I'll just assure you that this table of 6 absolutely knew who their server was and had absolutely been treating her poorly. They were one of those groups where the first guy orders his beer and by the time the other 5 finally tell the server their orders, the first guy is already complaining that his beer is taking too long. When the server hasn't even left the tableside. Yeah, this actually happens. A lot. While returning to my table from the bathroom, one of these winners stops me with a, "Hey, get me a beepy beer because I'm an amateur with bad taste." I give him a cheerful, "Sure," and proceed toward my table. Quickly, his repulsive girlfriend pipes up with a whiny, "And I want another of one of this," gesturing toward some pink sludge in a cup because of course that's her taste in beverages. I decide to stick around and let the whole table place orders with me before returning to my table and wait for them to notice me sitting there with my friends. I really didn't think this would go on long. I'm seated in plain sight about 2 tables away. They don't notice. Their server is tableside again within moments and their round is promptly ordered again since they're definitely the type to double order items from different staff. So my prank goes unnoticed. Later, I go to visit the bartender, have a brief chat and grab a couple drinks. I'm walking back to my table with 2 beers in hand. "Is that mine?" a voice asks as a hand reaches out to snatch it. "Nope," I reply and carry on. My actions had the potential to make life harder for the staff and I'd feel bad about it if I wasn't friends with all of them and if they hadn't been in on it. This table is so badly behaved and have been determined to have a bad time since before they arrived. They're really a lost cause. Any attempt to clear things up for them wouldn't be worth missing out on the entertainment of messing with them. So I start looking for excuses to innocently walk past their table. I take a few more bathroom visits than I really need and go visit my friend at the bar a couple more times. I never initiate contact with these clowns, but if they take the bait, I'll take the order. They are becoming increasingly agitated and abusive with each encounter. They tell me how bad I am at my job and I just cheerfully correct them. No. I'm actually really good at my job. They are more infuriated at how unfazed I am at the abuse than at the several drink orders I've failed to bring them. Remember, my friends and I have been seated in plain sight a few feet away drinking and laughing it up all night. Anyhow, they drink 3 rounds despite having ordered about 9 and decide to leave. Naturally, when their bill arrives they try to contest it, arguing that we didn't actually get most of the drinks we ordered so they shouldn't be on the bill. The manager informs them that the bill represents only the drinks they did receive. They try to argue the point and I just can't stand to watch my prank escalate too far, so I pipe up. "Your bill represents the drinks you ordered from your server." I don't even have to say it that loudly since I am seated so close to them. They all turn to look at me and I want to say they realize what's going on, but that's giving them too much credit since one of them immediately lays in with the threats to call my boss. I offer them my boss's phone number and dare him to try and get a jeweler to fire their assistant for being bad at table service. He then tries to accuse me of putting items on his bill that shouldn't be there. You know, with the access card I use to log into the POS at the restaurant where I am a customer. He still hasn't figured it out. Our final story of today is, Karening in the 70s. Before I begin, I'd like to mention that this story didn't actually happen to me, but it happened to my parents several years before I was even born. They have recounted the story to me many times when I was an adolescent in just the exact same manner as I am retelling it to you now. In the 1970s, long and bushy was the trendy, fashionable way people wore their hair. Shoulder length, chest length, even booty length. If you were alive in the 70s, you had long or bushy hair. Even the men wore their hair like this and my father was no exception. His hair was extremely bushy and jet black. As black as the ace of spades, with thick sideburns and a beard to match. Even though he was of Irish heritage, he didn't look Irish at all. And under intense sunlight, he would tan very easily as well, making his skin appear very dark. In 1972, my parents moved to Tucson. That's in Arizona for those of you who slept through your geography course. The desert sun was extremely intense and my father often had dark tan skin as a result. One sunny Saturday, my parents decided to take a driving trip across the border. That's the Mexican border for our non-North American readers. My mother is a shopaholic. She loves spending money she doesn't have, to buy things she doesn't need, to impress people she doesn't like. On this particular occasion, she wanted to purchase some handmade Mexican muñecas tejidas, small hand-woven dolls. So they traveled to a tiny border town just on the other side of the Rio Grande and found an old-style, white adobe brick open front shop, which my mother confidently entered. Now my father, not being very fond of tourist shopping, opted to wait outside while my mother entered the shop. He spotted a small, wooden stool that was set outside next to the shop to rest his rear end on and enjoy the scenery. A few moments later, an American Karen approached my father, carrying two colorful guayabras. I like to envision in my mind that she was even sporting the signature Karen hairdo, years before it had even been invented. Perdóname, she spoke in very broken Spanish and terrible American pronunciation. ¿Cuánto cuestas por favor? Which means, pardon me, how much are these please? A bit befuddled, my father turned to her and in perfect American English, replied, I'm sorry, I don't work here. To which the Karen stated directly, oh my, your English is very good. Have you traveled to the US before? At this point, she was beginning to sound very racist and condescending. But people didn't call out racism back then like they do now. My father just shrugged it off and declared, I live in the US. The Karen again didn't quite put two and two together. She was thoroughly under the assumption that my father was Mexican due to his thick, black bushy hair and dark tan skin. Well, she said to him again, I'm American because I'm from Wisconsin and you're from Mexico. That makes me American and you Mexican. Now I would like to purchase these items, but I need to know how much they are first. At this point, I don't see how my father didn't just slap the sense right into her. Instead, he replied again, a bit more agitated this time, Madam, I don't work here. I'm American, just like you are. I live in Tucson, I'm a college professor there. The Karen seemed dumbfounded by this statement, not sure how to react. She inquired about my legal American father's green card. Do you realize you need to be an American citizen to live and work in the US legally? If we were in the States right now, I could call INS. Madam, you can call INS all you want, my father retorted. I am a legal American citizen who lives in America. I don't live or work here, I don't even have any Mexican heritage. At this point, my mother, hearing all the commotion going on outside the shop, decided to walk over to where my father and the Karen were arguing. Is there a problem here? My mother inquired. This Mexican man is trying to tell me that he's a legal American citizen, the Karen snorted. He is a legal American citizen, my mother declared, he's my husband. We've been married for 8 months and we both have US passports. My mother exhumed both hers and my father's passports from her cluttered purse and handed them over to the Karen. He's not even Mexican, my mother said, nearly shouting. His grandfather, my great-grandfather, is from Ireland. He doesn't speak a word of Spanish. The Karen snatched the passports out of my mother's hand and with pursed lips examined both of them thoroughly before resigning herself that they were legal American citizens and did not work at this store. As she handed my parents' passports back to my mother, she stated very directly, well cut that raggedy mop hair then if you don't want people to mistake you for Mexican. The Karen walked off without so much as an apology for being a racist, airheaded poss. My mother purchased her muñecas and both my parents returned to their car to begin their journey back home. As they were exiting the small town, they noticed a white car pulled over to the side of the road with smoke billowing out from under the hood. At first they slowed down to see if the driver needed any assistance. But as they got closer, they realized it was the same Karen who had gotten into an argument with them earlier. My father stepped on the gas and kept right on driving. They didn't stop until they were safely back in Tucson. Thank you for watching. Error. Problem detected. Not enough subscribers. Please subscribe, like and comment.